when you think about society and our way of life, I, th- I do think the fundamental building block for all of that is trust. Without trust, everything kind of starts to fall apart.
So, as I'm sure some of you have noticed, GlobaliD has been flying a bit under the radar this past year. But there's actually been a ton of amazing work going on behind the scenes. So, we felt this would be the perfect time to bring back our future-proof podcast series. And who else but to have co-founder and CEO Mitja Simcic join us today. Mitja, how's it going?
Good, and wow, Alec, that was a great pronunciation.
Thank you. I've been practicing. Why don't you start with a quick intro?
Oh, sure. Yes. So, for everybody that does not know me, my name is Mitja. I come from a small country called Slovenia. It's in the middle of Europe. I was actually born and raised in Yugoslavia, and I moved to the US like a little over 10 years ago. So I guess that gives me an advantage because I lived in different political systems, like from socialist, democratic, now more to Western capitalist world. But it also means that I've experienced some of the hard problems that come with that identity and immigrating to a new country. And yeah, I've been working at GlobaliD for the last 7 years, first as the CTO and now in the CEO role, and happy to answer any questions and get folks excited about some of the things that are coming out of GlobaliD.
Well, seeing as we have been radio silent for a little bit, why don't you take a second to reintroduce GlobaliD for everyone, right? Like, what's it all about?
Let's take a step back first. So when you think about society and our way of life, I do think the fundamental building block for all of that is trust. Without trust, everything kind of starts to fall apart. There have been numerous studies, and there was one really good one done over 10 years ago, actually, I think it was 2014, that found a correlation between trust and GDP. So basically what it means is the more trust that the countries were having, the higher the wealth. So the problem today is that a lot of the systems we relied on for trust have started to kind of break down. And a lot of that has to do with the rise of the internet, with the digitalization, and our systems for trust haven't really caught up yet. And you can see the results all around us. I mean, just talking to people, I feel like people have less trust in each other. They have less trust in the companies they rely on every day. How are they dealing with their data and so on? They have less trust in the news they read. And if people don't trust the outcome of their elections, then we are beginning to see this breakdown of trust challenge the very fabric of our democracies at the end of the day. So to me, and I think this is where GlobaliD kind of comes in, this is a big problem and needs to be solved. And in a way, we could even say that it's an existential problem. And so in the interim, what we've done is that we've relinquished a lot of control and ownership to big companies to take care of these problems for us. But I think what we've come to find out is that people aren't totally happy with that outcome, where these big companies have so much control over our lives. And in that sense, GlobaliD is coming in as this new platform for trust that can take on these modern challenges. It's a platform that allows us to privately and securely trust each other. But more specifically, in a way, it's a gateway for you to regain control over your digital life, which means giving your control and ownership over the fundamental building blocks of how you interact and transact online, your identity, your communications, and your money. So to put it kind of like very easily, like we are flipping the pyramid upside down and we are putting users in the driver's seats.
You know, it's 2024. I don't think there are going to be too many people that disagree with this notion that, maybe trust is an issue, or this idea that, maybe huge corporations controlling so much of our digital lives is a problem, right? And so I think all of that sounds great conceptually, individually, having ownership over things like your identity, your messaging, your money. But what does that actually mean, right? Can you be a bit more concrete?
Yeah. So for us, it has definitely been an evolutionary process. When we started exploring these ideas over 7 years ago, like there were no standards, there were no protocols, there weren't even names for some of the ideas and tools that and features that we are thinking about and building, right? So in a sense, we can say we were trailblazers. But what was cool was seeing that this notion of individual ownership started to catch on, and over time, the space has developed. And we helped go after some of those standards and protocols. And today, we have things like DIDs and VCs that were approved by W3C. And to me, that's the step one, right? So everything needs to be built on open standards and open protocols. That allows everything to be open, everything to be interoperable, transparent, and you need to rely on proprietary piece of software or some closed ecosystem. And if you do that, how much ownership will you really have? So your identity is built around the W3C standards in GlobaliD that we call verifiable credentials, and you control them. Like, it's totally in your control. And the messaging, we went from building proprietary end-to-end encrypted messaging to using Matrix, which is an open source, decentralized messaging platform. It's also end-to-end encrypted. But Matrix also has this cool feature, which is called the bridge, where we can tie into other messaging platforms. And currently, if you go and use GlobaliD, you can actually use GlobaliD to message with your friends on Telegram and on WhatsApp. And we're going to build more bridges in the future. And then if we take another more concrete example of the value exchange, though, as soon as you onboard to GlobaliD, you also get the self-custodial wallets. So you don't need any bank account, and you are the one who holds the keys, and you control what you do with the value and money that you have.
So if you go to the App Store today, Apple, Google, and you download GlobaliD, can you access all of these features already?
Yeah, most of the features that I spoke about are actually already live, and we have a lot of exciting updates right around the corner. I would take this opportunity to emphasize the importance of our community as well. Like, we have a good sense that this is where the world will move, that this is what people will demand from their online interactions in the future. But this is also a very big learning opportunity for us. So none of this has been done before, and we're on this journey together with our users. So I would just like to say, like, your voices matter. Like, every voice matters, especially yours. So go on, download the app, try it out, start building your identity, start using your identity to build trust with one another. But also let us know what you think. What are we doing well? Where do you think the gaps are? What are the features that you really want to see? Like, what problems are you experiencing that we could solve? And what we already have in terms of identity, messaging, and money, it's just the beginning. So we don't want you just to download the app. We want you to invite you in a way on this journey together with us. So, and the journey should be towards building this much more trustworthy, empowering, and inclusive future together.
Well, you heard it from Mitja. Go download the app. If you see something you like, if you see something you don't like, something that's missing, let us know. Again, this is a journey, and I think we're all super excited to walk that journey with all of you. Mitja, I know you're excited as well about making a lot more regular appearances. So, yeah, we'll see you all soon, and we'll catch you all on the next one.
Great. Thank you, Alec.
Bye-bye.